Hey everyone, welcome back to Limit Breaker Fitness. Monty here again. Today I'm going to show you how to make some turkey meatballs. This is one of my favorite things to make. It comes together really quickly and they freeze really well. So you can make a bunch of them, throw them over in the freezer, and pull them out on the weeknights for a nice quick dinner that's high in protein and it's got some great carbs and just a little bit of fat for you. Throw it over some pasta with some sauce, can't miss. So real quick ingredients. Of course, we have our turkey. This is 93.7. I have some breadcrumbs. I have some garlic and herb seasoning. This contains garlic, onion, black pepper, basil, rosemary, fennel, marjoram, and celery seed. So if you don't have a pre-made mix, you have the individual things in your cupboards, go ahead and use those. Like I said before, I like to use these pre-made spice mixtures whenever I do these recipes, so I can lower the barrier of entry for beginners. Of course, I've also got some whole milk that'll add a little more moisture and make them a little more tender. Did I go over? A little bit of pasta sauce here, and some olive oil so that we can saute them in. Got a glass bowl. This is what we're going to be mixing everything in. And then I just got a little bit of water here in a bowl for when I'm handling them. This is a good little tip. Whenever you're making meatballs, just put your hands in there, rub it around. They'll keep them from sticking. All right, let's get to the actual making of the mixture. All right, guys, you got our bowl. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is put our breadcrumbs in. This is half a cup of breadcrumbs here. And once we get those in there, we want to take our milk and don't put all your milk in at once. I have half a cup here. I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. And as I add it, I'm going to go ahead and mix everything around. And what this does is, this is going to create something called a panade. Now, the panade really, that's just all it is. It's some breadcrumbs and some milk. And this is going to help to add a lot of moisture and help our meatballs be very tender when they come out. Last thing you want is a super tough meatball. So make sure it's not too wet. Give that a stir. That's going to need a little bit more. Now these are Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. I like to go with the Italian seasoned ones because they're just going to have more flavor. You can go with panko if you want, but you're going to have to add a few more spices to it at the end. This is just a quick little, I guess, hack. I know I was talking about that ice hack, how much I hate that word hack. But in this case, it's okay. So we'll give that a mix. Looks like we're going to use almost all of it. And that looks pretty good right there. So there's probably a tablespoon or two in there. Now if you want to take a look at that, see that? It's not too gloopy, not too runny. We just want it to be like a nice paste. All right, so now that that's done, go ahead and put my spoon over here to the side. I'll go ahead and add the garlic and herb seasoning. That's about 1 tablespoon there of that. And then once that's in there, I'll go ahead and grab my turkey here. And we're going to get a little dirty. Gotta get elbow deep in this turkey, you know? So open that up, dump it in. Let's take this out of here. All right, let me just throw this out real quick. All right, guys, there's no pretty way to do this. You just got to get in here with your fingers and just mix, 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 mix. You want me to sit here and keep saying mix for a few minutes, or you want me to cut? Leave that in the comments. Speaking of the comments, go down there and let me know if you like this format of video better than the voiceovers. This is it is easier for me to do it this way than having to cut and edit everything, especially with something that comes together pretty quickly like this. So go ahead, leave that in the comments, and I'll be back in a minute for you guys. Okay, guys, so as you can see, the meat's all homogeneous now. Everything's there. We don't have big specks. And I'm just going to take a little cooking spray and spray down my sheet so that it doesn't stick. Now, I'll go ahead and get my hands damp here. This will help keep the meat from sticking. And, you know, I'm sure you've seen videos like this before. You want about a golf ball sized meatball, because they tend to cook best that way. If you go too big on it, then you run the risk of drying it out. So right around the golf ball size, I'm going to take that, put it on the tray, and well, now I just rinse and repeat. So I'll be back in another minute, guys. Okay, guys, all done making the meatballs. I got 19 of them here. How many you end up with, it's going to depend on the size of meatballs that you used, and if you use maybe a little more panade than I did, you know, that adds some volume to it. So there's 3 things you can do now with these. You can take them, put them in the freezer, let them freeze, and then move them into a Ziploc bag, use them later. You can put them in a pan, saute them off, or you can throw them in the oven. If you do them in the pan, a little bit of olive oil that I mentioned earlier, and you just brown them on all sides, make sure they're cooked through. Today I'm just going to throw these in the pan because quite honestly it's easier that way and I got a lot to do. So I'm going to throw them in the oven, 425, and they're only going to take about 10 minutes or so. Like I said before, golf ball sized, makes them really easy to cook. So my oven's preheating, I'm going to throw them in there and I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, there they are. Out of the oven, fresh. They took 12 minutes total. Always cook them to 165 internal. And they're going to vary when it comes to time depending on how big you make them. Heated up my sauce. I'm going to let them rest for a little bit and we'll plate them up. Okay guys, it's all done. Take a look at that. Doesn't that look good? Now, this is going to come in at about 330 calories, 28 grams of protein, 26 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fat. No fiber in here, but whatever. We'll get vegetables in on the side. Now I got plenty of balls left. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the fridge. I can throw it over pasta. Here I have it with about half a cup of that sauce that I heated up with a little sprinkling of cheese. And that's really all there is to it. Just dump everything in the bowl and, you know, form your balls. You know, you got to learn how to handle your balls, guys. Really take good care of them. Please don't click off. Please do not click off. Although if you are going to click something, click that like button, click that subscribe button, comment, notification bell, all that stuff. And if you want a personalized program, send me an email, limitbreakerfitnessllc@gmail.com, or pick up my free beginner program that's down below. That's all I got for you today, guys. I'll see you next time.